Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Nittai Gauranga Jaya Nittai Gauranga Nittai Gauranga Jaya Nittai Gauranga Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Prabhupada Prabhupada Chula Prabhupada Gurudev Gurudev Chula Gurudev Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama कलियुग पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की हरे कृष्णा। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So, morning we were discussing about many things. The most important thing for me is that how one acts selflessly in the Vedic culture. You heard about Panchamahayagna? You know, it's a typical Panchamahayagna means it's a Nri Yagna, Bhuta Yagna, Deva Yagna, Rishi Yagna, Brahma Yagna. There are 5. So, Nri Yagna means like when somebody comes to your home, they're called Atithi. Correct, no? Atithi means without information of the date. Atithi. They don't tell you the date. When are they coming? It's not fixed program. Suddenly they appear. The modern times, if somebody suddenly comes, people are shocked. People say, no, you never told us. They become upset. Whereas in Vedic life, if somebody suddenly comes, with smiling face, they welcome them and feed them prasad, accommodate them. You will see that Atithi Satkar, they call it. Satkar. You must have heard this also. Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva, Atithi Deva Bhava also. That's also included. So, Atithis are respectfully treated. That is Indriya Yajna. And also, Bhuta Yajna means cows give milk, you have to also take care of them. You can't slit their throat. Similarly, the bull, the horse, the donkey, the cat, these are all called domestic animals. These animals have decided to stay with humans instead of going to forest. Because they stay with humans and they serve humans, so we also have a responsibility to maintain them. So that is called as Bhuta Yajna. Then we also have Deva Yajna. The Devatas are giving sunlight, moonlight, rain shower, wind, isn't it? And all the natural things which we are using, like gold, silver, diamond and all the iron, minerals and everything. So Devatas are all in charge of all these things because Lord has posted them, correct? No? So then there is a Deva Yajna. There's a Rishi Yajna also, Rishi Rin we call it. Because the Rishis are teaching the mankind the codes of conduct, how to live a proper life like a human being and not quarrel with one another. They also teach human beings their ultimate duty to God. They also teach etiquettes and manners and behavior, how to live a life within moral codes and ethical codes, a life of character, life of spirituality. So then we have a duty towards all the rishis also. That is Rishi Yajna, we call it. Then, so rishis have to be given charity, dan. Similarly, devatas have to be done puja. Similarly, the cows and all the other animals have to be fed with their food and accommodation and protection for them. Similarly, atithis have to be welcomed with food, clothing, shelter, everything. And the fifth one is called Brahma Yajna. Every human being has a daily debt to study the Vedic literature. Every day one should rise in the morning, after taking bath, people would sit down and read Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, Vedic literature. And by studying the Vedic literature, the Brahma Yajna is performed by that. So you will find typically in India, many of the Grihasthas families, it's very customary that they have this Gita press, Ramayana, Mahabharata and all in their homes. You've seen that? Open the few pages and read that and equip yourself with Brahma Yajna. By doing that Brahma Yajna, you become really a proper human being. By studying the Vedic literature. You understand what is right, what is wrong. Ability to discriminate. Viveka Buddhi arises by that. And by giving dan, charity to the Brahmins are patronized and nourished. And then they will be able to live peacefully and they study the scriptures and they teach also. Correct, no? They will be able to propagate the knowledge. So, in the same manner, when the yajna is performed, like we say, yajnat bhavati parjanyo, yajna karma samudbhava, he says, So then annat bhavanti bhutani. By the yajna, the parjanya comes, rains come. By the rains, there is drinking water and also the grains. Correct, no? Yeah. So by that, the food you get, and the water you get, everything is sanctified by that. Because somebody may say, why to, perform yajna and get water from the clouds? Why can't you take from the ocean directly? You can take from the ocean directly, but it will be salty. And salty water, if you drink, it will be increasing your thirst. You cannot quench your thirst. For quenching the thirst, you need potable water, drinking water. And that is only possible when you take the water and give it to sun, then it becomes potable water. Sun is also not just sun. Sun is called Surya Narayana. The effulgence of the sun comes from a personality called Surya Narayana, which is also a Narayana. So Narayana only actually gives that brilliance to the sun. That means you are actually giving water to whom? The ocean is giving water to whom? Supreme Lord. And then you get pure water. Otherwise, the ocean water is locked up with salt. Nobody can directly take and enjoy it. Similarly, anything taken directly and enjoyed is going to be the cause of. Here is a secret of why in America they have so much money, but people are suffering. Suffering is because the money is directly taken for enjoyment. The Lakshmi should be engaged in, Narayana's service. Without that, when one directly takes to enjoy, that same Lakshmi becomes Chanchala. And Chanchala is the cause of all suffering. Today morning we heard one shloka, no? 15 sufferings that come from, money. That money is actually not offered to the Lord. That money is actually dangerous money. So Lakshmi has one good side and one bad side. Good side is Lakshmi ji is a servant maid of Lord Narayana. So always massaging the feet of Narayana. That's a good side of Lakshmi. She is called as Mukta Dosha. And the other side of Lakshmi is Chanchala. She is very dangerous. If one tries to enjoy her separately, then there can be terrible problem like what Ravana experienced. Correct, no? So in this way, this Pancha Yajna, this Pancha Yajna is also included in our Krishna consciousness movement. For example, Rishi Yajna, you are giving charity to the temple by which the sadhus and others are maintained, correct, no? Similarly, instead of giving to devatas, you are actually bringing deity to your home. You are worshipping the Lord in the temple. When you worship Krishna directly, all the devatas are included in that. So Deva Yajna is included because Krishna is Devadi Dev. Correct, no? Yeah. Similarly, Atiti Yajna means, Nru Yajna means you have to, especially somebody is a Grihastha, they have to call the other devotees to the home, cook prasadam, and conduct some program. If somebody is putting up a program in their home, then that way the giving of prasadam to the Vaishnavas is taken care by that. Correct, no? Some people think nowadays, oh, it's a big disturbance. Like one time I made a open announcement. Anyway, how many of you would like to invite us, brahmacharis, to come and conduct Bhagavatam study circle in your homes? I asked. Gali gali mein Bhagavatam study circle. Like that I announced it. Then immediately 30, 40 people raised hand. Then later on, those men were turning to the wife's side to check whether wife can cook prasad. Some of them got a signal from the wife's side. Eh? It's very easy for you to invite devotees to home, but who will? Ah, they said, so if you cater, more money you have to spend. If you have to cook, more sweat you have to put. Both involve some amount of trouble, which nobody wants. But if you take that trouble, you make progress. Tapodevyam prakayena sattam shuddhyasi. So it's not that anybody's life is comfortable in this world. Everybody's life has difficulty. Imagine once in a week you open your door for conducting a Bhagavatam circle in your house. It's a troublesome thing, undoubtedly. But you also have to go to office and come back, and most people wouldn't like to open their door to other people. But 30, 40 people come and occupy the house in the evening, and you have to feed them prasad, the noise and everything. That's all right. So that means they are making progress, correct now? That is Nru Yajna. Then Bhuta Yajna, if you are taking any service from any other living entity, you also have, some obligation to them. For example, some people take care of the cow. Like here one devotee is having some 10 cows, I heard, 10, 12 cows, yes. So when your cow is giving you milk, you have to take care of the cow also. Ideally speaking, family is supposed to have one cow in the Vedic life, correct, no? Now in city and all, they don't allow the cows. There are a lot of rules and regulations and everything. But in this way, then Bhuta Yajna will be fulfilled also. And then Brahma Yajna, study of scriptures, in ISKCON there is a strong emphasis, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta and all that. Brahma Yajna will follow those things. So these 5 things you will see, every human being is supposed to do, Pancha Yajna. Or if you do devotional service very seriously, these 5 are automatically taken care. Another thing we learned in the morning today, this is my duty at this point of time, therefore I must do. This kind of consciousness is called Saptaguna. It comes in the 18th chapter, the type of work. I'll just show you that. See this one, this verse. Karyam yatyeva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha. This is Bhagavad Gita 18.9. Oh Arjuna, when one performs his duty only because it ought to be done. Like for example, why do you attend Mangalarti? Oh, Mangalarti must be attended. Why? Because in Guru Parampara, our Acharyas have said, Prabhupada has said, it must be done. It's very important. If anybody feels that very strong sense of duty, that, oh, I have to complete my 16 rounds daily, and I should do it in the japa beads, and preferably I should do it in the morning hours, and I should get up early in the morning. I must do this, all the aratis. Oh, Bhagavatam class, absolutely. It's a ashtaprayeshu, bhatreshu. And that too, Bhagavatam itself says, Nityam Bhagavad Sevya. Therefore, I must attend every day Bhagavatam class, Nityam Bhagavad Sevya. So one develops a very strong feeling of duty. When one performs a prescribed duty only because it ought to be done, and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. See, he gives up all the material association because material association takes a lot of time also. And it is also purifying. In a spiritual association is purifying, material association is purifying. And also all attachment to the fruit means you are doing these duties, but you don't have any expectation in return. You think this must be done, this is duty, you don't expect any immediate result. You don't expect. This, the whole Vedic life is about this. One should do selflessly service to others without, like you see in the buses and everything in India, you will always see people give away coins to some beggars, correct? No? Little dharma they do. Because of that, no jiva will go hungry. No jiva will go without the basic necessities. You see that. So this is called as sadharan dharma, ordinary dharma. But what we are doing is called Paro dharma, supreme dharma. Because when in supreme dharma, we don't just give coin, we give prasad. By eating prasad, the living in it is become Krishna conscious. So we give spiritual charity, we give. Correct, no? But one should do it knowing well that it must be done. See, Prabhupada, what he says in the purport here. Prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. One should act without attachment for the result. He should be dissociated from the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. Some people ask, Prabhuji, this Prabhuji took Diksha, Brahman Diksha, and is worshipping in the temple. What kind of Brahmana is he? You know, he is taking salary from a company and working in a Ugra Karma company. In a big company, he goes for a job. How do you say he's a Brahman? It's a good question. He is supposed to be doing Brahminical work if he took Brahman Diksha. But he's working in a Ugra Karma factory. But if you observe his consciousness, although he goes to the factory, in the morning he goes to the temple, attends the Aaratis, Guru Puja, attends the Bhagavatam class, takes some prasad, and then he goes to the factory. While going to factory, also, his consciousness is filled with Krishna consciousness. The company, he looks at all the people in the company like jivas, who are all Krishna's part and parcels. And then he carries some Prabhupada books with him. He gives them some books to read. Sometimes in the afternoon time, he preaches to them and brings them for the Janmashtami or Damodar festival or Diwali or something to the temple. And then he starts some preaching program. He invites some of the colleagues. Hey, I have a program in my home. Would you like to join? Invites them to his home. So the afternoon during prasadam time, he tells something from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita to the colleagues and everybody. He is physically in the company, but his heart is in the lotus feet of the Lord. Like that. And also he's thinking, this factory is giving me a fat salary and I can utilize this salary in Krishna service. Good amount of it, I will use it in Krishna service. The temple is in need of this, need of that, I will do this. So he behaves like a devotee even in the company, although he may be doing apparently Ugra Karma. Therefore, one should not think this person to be like a mundane worker. If you do that, you are offensive. Like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you consider Murari Gupta to be a doctor, you are offensive, he said. Externally, he looks like a doctor, but his heart is blissfully Krishna conscious. One day, this fellow, what's his name? Mukunda. His name is Mukunda, one doctor also, correct? No? So he was administering some medicine to the king on stage type of thing. It was like a staircase was there. You go up here, the king was sitting, they were fanning the king, and he was giving some medicine. But while giving the medicine, suddenly his eyes fell on the peacock feather, which the person was fanning. And immediately he fell unconscious. And from the top place, he fell to the bottom. And immediately the king's men went and lifted him, sprinkled water. And the king also came down asking, hey, what happened to you? So Vimala Mukunda said, oh, I have sometimes I get these fits or epilepsy. That's why I'm sorry, he said. King said, no, don't tell me stories. I know what is happening. You saw the peacock feather. As soon as they brought the peacock feather to fan me, immediately you fainted unconscious. You became completely carried away by Krishna consciousness, remembrance of Lord Krishna. So you can understand how much Krishna conscious was he. Externally, he was a doctor. So somebody may be a woman, somebody may be a man, somebody may be a child. Prahlad is a small child, but a pure devotee child. Right? No? So Ambarish is a king, but is a pure devotee king. So anybody in any walk of life, externally they may be in one varnashrama position, but internally they can be pure devotees. That's what Prabhupada is saying. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He doesn't see them as workers, nor does he see the work as factory work. He simply works for Krishna. Like our Prabhupada made one devotee, Jayananda Prabhu, into temple president. But then the temple was really running out of money, no bank balance to pay rent, and for the utensils and for the prasad. So he was preaching also along with that. So one day one of the boys wanted to join the temple full time. Same day he joined. Jan Prabhu said, okay, I make you the temple president today onward. He said, today you have joined. So he didn't know anything. He said, okay, whenever you don't know anything, call me, I will tell you what to do. But you are the president. What are you going to do? He said, now I am going to drive taxi. I will drive taxi, bring money to run the temple. So he was driving taxi, but his whole intention in driving taxi was to run the temple. Correct, no? So his driving taxi is not for money making for himself. Correct, no? So, and he doesn't care for the post of president also. Because for him, being a president of the temple was not very important. And being in a lowly profession like a taxi is also not something that is hurting him. Because in both the things he is doing, for whose sake? That's the whole point. He is giving up the post of president so that he can have time to work and bring money. He is accepting the post of a taxi driver only to bring money and run the temple. Just see. So that's the whole point. So when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendently, saying like that. So why am I saying all these things? We are discussing on the topic of competition, and envy and insecurity. We have not even started the topic competition because competition cannot be there in the life of a devotee who has understood these principles. One is doing the duties because they must be performed. This is actually Amritamaya mentality it is. Amritamaya means the Vedic literature say that anyone who does the activities in Sattva-guna like this, that these are important activities, and they are all done for the pleasure of the Lord. Performing the aratis, performing. Like one time when my parents, my father, mother passed away, I was doing this kriya for them, 13 days, correct, no? That Brahmana who would come in the morning, he would come at about 5:36, he would come. Until about 1 o'clock it will go on. He has to arrange the yajna kund and everything, and so many mantras are there, pujas he has to perform. He would come on a rainy day also in a bike, he would bring all those ingredients and everything and do it. So one day I just told him, Prabhuji, you are taking so much trouble to come and do this, it takes long time, So he said, this is my vritti. Vritti has a double meaning. One meaning of the vritti means occupation. Another meaning of the word vritti means propensity. So my occupation is my propensity. So for me, although I am coming in the rain, I am getting little wet. But this activity, I am very delighted to do it. And then he told me, in this day and age, there are very few people like you who would want to sit through such a long procedure from morning 5:36 to afternoon 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Therefore, although we want to do, many people they are not ready. But since you are ready, I am even more enthusiastic. I can come all the 13 days, he said. Every day he was coming and doing. So, similarly, when you become a devotee, you should know that your vritti, your occupation is Navavida Bhakti. And your vritti also means your natural propensity should become that since I am a devotee, I should wear tilak, I should have kantimala, I should wear dhoti kurta, I should chant and dance, and morning program which I do, it's my natural propensity. Because devotee means these are natural, worshipping the Lord, worshipping the deity, going and distributing books, and handing over our body in the service of Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara, correct, no? Once you are convinced deeply about this, somebody else may tell you that, oh, you are doing so many austerities. You will wonder what austerities is talking about. For you won't feel it is a austerity. It's very natural. You just do it. Just like, nobody needs to be told in the morning, you get up, you clear your stool and urine and take a bath and wear a dress and come. You do it because every day you do it, correct, no? One has to cleanse the body of mala. All the mala should be removed. Similarly, the mala in the mind also has to be removed. How will you remove the mala in the mind? The chanting of the holy name. Correct, no? And the sleeping soul has to be awakened by the chanting of the holy name. And by that, so the devotional activities we are doing, it is for cleansing the mind and awakening the soul. All the morning activities which we do. And without doing it, we will become dull-headed. And we will gradually get degraded in our life. So, actually, it's like a doctor is giving you medicine. How many of you experience people take the medicine, keep it in the cupboard, but they don't regularly take? You experience of that, correct? That means they are not duty bound. Correct, no? But duty bound person means every day, morning this, afternoon this, evening this, until the course is completed. So only you need Sattva for that. To be very duty bound to do that. So those who in Sattva situate themselves and are very duty bound, they do it. Slowly you will find by doing the duty bound activities, you will start feeling happiness because it's in Sattva. Say for example, your grandmother, grandfather is sick at home. You have to take them to hospital. And when you go to hospital, 40 people are sitting there. And the compounder is one by one sending. It's going to take 2-3 hours. Our mind immediately opposes a lot. Mind says, what is this sitting in the hospital atmosphere 3 hours, 2 hours, what is this? So nowadays many children, they want to play video games at home but don't want to take grandmother, grandfather to hospital. They think who will wait? Because to wait there, take them to the doctor, get the medicine from the dispensary shop, bring them back and put at home. All these things require what? Patience. Also? Time. What else? Huh? Of course, energy, but you need a sense of duty. You strongly need to feel a sense of duty. Now, for example, your boy at a marriageable age wants to marry a girl. So he has a desire to marry because there is a propensity to enjoy. Oh, there is a eagerness that if a woman comes into my life, she will add some emotion and I will be happy. Some idea man has like that. So his purpose of his marriage is to get happiness by bringing a female into his life as a wife. Correct, no? But then the wife doesn't come free. When she comes, responsibility also comes along with that. You have to give her sari, you have to give her a house, you have to give her ornaments. And when she gets sick, you have to take her to hospital. But many people want to take the enjoyment part, but don't want to do the struggle part. Correct, man? That goes to show the many people, man does not have the sense of duty. Correct, man? So the sense of duty in devotional life, if you have sense of duty, then the progress is very fast. So But the sense of duty over a period of time will give you joy. In Bhagavata, it is said, one in Sattva-guna, one keeps doing the duty in a detached fashion, one will start experiencing great happiness in sticking to that duty itself. Sukham and Jnanam, we say two things, no? One becomes wiser, and one also becomes happy also, like that. So that was one thing we saw in the morning. Like for example, you study as a student to get knowledge and understanding, or you want to crack marks and show off to the world that हमने इतना mark प्राप्त हो गया. I have cracked that competitive exam. Very few people will say that they want to develop understanding. So if the goal itself was only to crack marks, and when they are unable to crack, therefore they get frustrated. If your goal is to develop a proper understanding, correct? This is what Dr. Kalam says. When he was in his school days, he had one professor called Dr. Balasubramaniam. And the professor would spend hours and hours explaining it to the students. Every subject in science and everything. So Dr. Kalam says he had 3-4 friends, and all the friends would try to understand the subjects with a lot of hours of study and discussion. They would do. Whenever there is a free period, they would go to the library and they would go and understand it. So he said our goal was not to get marks, he says. Marks will come or marks may not come. What is more important? Understanding the subject. Because tomorrow you have to launch a rocket. What do you need? You need marks or you need knowledge? Correct, na? Isn't it? So what is the use of your cracking marks? Somebody got, like in my college days, I remember some boys, they can exactly predict what questions will come this year. Because they have a bulky books. They tell in this year this questions came, in this year it came. They also give you some kind of idea. Because some old lazy professors who set the paper, they have a typical style of making papers, correct na? Therefore these fellows study also very little. They study exactly for those units, and when they come, they may get centum or they may get 95 also, but not that they know the subject. So here is the point. If you are studying for understanding, you are going to benefit. If you are going to study for cram and vomit and get marks, then that's another thing. That's hollow. In the same manner, in Krishna consciousness, for example, you come for the morning program. What is the hetu for coming for the morning program? So one person said, Prabhuji, if I don't come daily for morning program, they will ask me to vacate the place. So then I won't get prasad also. Therefore I have to come. So therefore one has to come to the point of ahetuki apratihata. Uninterruptedly one should do duty day after day, month after month, year after year, go on doing the duty. And without any material anticipation or expectation in return. See, the word purohit means what? Pura means house. Hit means benefit. Like, say I go to many homes when they invite. One time I went to a Karodpati's house and we did kirtan there. I spoke something from the Gita also. But they are very, what do you call it? Simple people. They were so simple that they don't have a puja room also in the house. Yeah. They don't have a puja room. They have kept some small picture on the table like this. Then I had taken Radha Vrindavan Chandra, so I kept that. And after the program was over, when the person is leaving, a grihastha should, if some monk comes to your house, you should give some charity. Correct, no? Some money, even 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees, something you should give. Somebody comes to your home, and give some fruits, give some money, offer obeisances, beg for blessings that our children also will become nice devotees, something like that. These people are so, uninformed, they had no idea of any clue, After I finished my kirtan, I said, okay, now it's getting late, I will go and thank you, bye-bye, this and that. Not even 1 penny also. Also, they are having crores of rupees, big plush house and everything. It's not that I was upset that they didn't give me money, what kind of people. No. I am talking about the dharmic aspect. I am talking. But because I had no expectation from them, therefore when I left their house, I didn't feel any kind of moroseness. But if I go with expectation, hey, these are Karodpati people, I think they will at least give me 10,000 rupees. With that expectation, you go. And if they don't give you a single penny, then you will get That's why Brahmana means zero expectation. Huh? No expectation. That's the meaning of charity. Charity means if they give charity, you accept. If they don't, like one Anand Karodpati's house I had gone. And when I was getting up and leaving, he just gave me 2 bananas. Perfect. You cannot ask, what is the 2 bananas? You give 20,000 rupees. Huh? If you have expectation, you are going to be frustrated. Brahmana means you should not expect anything. On the other hand, you will be shocked. Some people are average people, mediocre people. They give 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, or some people give like that. You don't even expect also. So when you never expected anything from them, they give you, then what happens? You don't know what happens? See, when you had no expectation, suddenly, unexpectedly, you get something. How do you feel? Too much happy you feel. Huh? And if you had no expectation, they didn't give you anything. What happens? Huh? No, you can't be frustrated. You had no expectation. Huh? Yeah. No, not only neutral, you feel happy. I'll tell you why. Because you've done some dharma for them. Correct, no? Oh, I came to their house. I could do kirtan. They participated in the kirtan. I lit up a lamp and they performed arati. They accepted that. And I spoke some words of wisdom from the Gita. They listened to it. Such wonderful people, good people. And if somebody asks, hey, but they didn't give you anything. They are not informed. They are good fellows. In future, when they grow in the Krishna consciousness, they may happily give charity. But right now, they are like children. So you don't feel any offense towards them, and you don't feel anything missing in your life. You only feel happy that I could do something Krishna conscious benefit for this family. That selflessly performed service gives you joy. You understand, no? Yeah. So this is why the Vedic life is so powerful it is. So that means do your activities out of a strong sense of duty. In our stage, in Sattva, we have to do it. See, when you become a pure devotee tomorrow, you will not do things out of a sense of duty. You will do out of greed. What greed? Spiritual greed. Spiritual greed. You will be mad after Krishna at a certain stage when you are advanced in spiritual life. At that time, your sense of duty is insignificant. You don't care about sense of duty. You do because you feel love for Krishna. That's a very advanced stage. But before that stage comes, we should be strongly footed in what? Sense of duty. Yukta karma palam taktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadyate. He's saying, yukta karma phalam tyaktva. Karma phalam tyaktva means one should abandon the fruits of action. Shanti mapnoti naishtikim. Then one is peace, one gets everlasting peace, he's saying. Ayukta kama karena, one who is not engaged in Krishna conscious activities. Phale sakto nibadyate, he becomes attached. For example, a husband, wife, young couple, newly married. Now, if it is hot summer, the lady goes to the kitchen and it is super hot. Already fire is hot and the fire is also hot. Summer is hot and fire is also hot. So she feels uneasy and she may tell the husband, oh, when I think about cooking, my head is spinning. Better let us eat in Govindas. Come, let's go to Govindas. Both will enjoy. Of course, you can go to Govindas, bill will be stout bill. At the end of the month, a big bill will come. Correct, no? Correct, no? When you go out. So that is why it is said, it said that summer kitchen and winter bath. Two things are mentioned. Where? 2.14. There it says, even though winter is very cold, you have to take bath. Even though summer is hot, your lady should go in the kitchen. These two. That is also done out of sense of, that's the whole point. And what they have to tolerate? Shita Ushna Sukha Dukha. They have to tolerate. And dualities you have to tolerate and do your duty with a strong sense of duty. So by doing the sense of, a woman should think, oh, if I cook now, my husband, my children, they have to be served also. And without cooking, how will I offer anything to the Lord? So, although it's not a very pleasant feeling, but I must do it. But the moment she has that sense of duty and she starts doing the work, she forgets the pinprick of the hot sun and heat of the fire. She feels a great sense of joy because I'm cooking for Krishna, I'm cooking for my family members. By thinking like that, she goes beyond that, superficial suffering type of thought. Now, sometimes our boys are not coming for the morning program or they have difficulty in the morning program because they have not understood the importance of this sense of duty. Correct? No? Strongly, they have not understood the benefits of having the sense of duty. So, for example, somebody is appearing in an interview, you prepare, you appeared in the interview. As soon as you came out, you understood what mistake you committed. How many of you had experience? Correct? No? As soon as you came out, you understood. Oh, that fellow asked the question. I should not have answered like that. So, how many of you felt deeply depressed, very sad that that one thing I spoke correctly, I would have got the job? You felt that? You felt that, correct? No? Now, you should not feel that depression. I'll tell you why. Because life is always an opportunity for learning. So, you did the interview, committed a mistake. I have done my duty. Now, next time I do my duty, I will do it more perfectly. I'll pray to the Lord, give me the sadbuddhi, right buddhi at the right time, so I speak properly. And I will not do this mistake. I will make sure whatever I learned from this mistake, I will implement this learning next time. Correct, no? Yeah. Like one devotee was telling, he prepared 20 pages notes, but when he started giving the Bhagavatam class in 15 minutes, it got over. He was shocked, my Lord, next 40 minutes, what will I speak? He was just turning page after page. He was speaking very fast. So later on, he realized that, I should not rush through the notes. I should gradually develop the subject and everything like that. So you learn from your mistakes and grow out of it. Instead of developing a phobia, now I will not give class at all because I committed a mistake. Don't become frozen. So this strong sense of duty one has, and while performing the duty, there will be mistakes. Krishna says that. Karyam dosha eva. He says in the 18th chapter only. See here, Krishna says this. Repeat this verse. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham apinatyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumenagnir ivavritaha. Yeah. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature. Even if such work is full of fault. That means he is saying that till now I have been telling you importance of the duty. But while performing duty, you will see that there are going to be some faults. Like, one boy was telling, he is living close to the temple. So he used to come to temple for chanting. But when he's chanting, he would doze. And other people would pinch him and wake him up. And of course, the pinching is not painful pinch. Just little bit they would do. But ego pinches more. Ego gets more pinched. Because somebody woke me up and I am dozing. That's very hurt him very much. He stopped coming for the morning program. Later on, he wrote a mail to me saying that, Prabhuji, nowadays I am going down in spiritual life. I said, but I saw you coming to temple. I used to come, Prabhuji. Nowadays I am not coming. I said, why are you not coming? He said, when devotees wake me up in sleeping, I feel very, very pained. I said, see, I told this shloka only I quoted. I told him that your endeavor to come to temple and chant will be covered by some fault like dozing, chanting. Just like you are coming to temple and attending aratis is like fire. And your dozing and chanting is like smoke. But you should not give up that work of coming. Because if you give up, even though there is fault in your japa, that fault will go away by associating with devotees. Eventually. And they'll wake you up in the beginning. Eventually, you will not sleep. You will become fresh in your chanting. But if you run away, if you give up the work and go away, are you going to improve? No, there will be no improvement. At home, you'll sleep even more also. Correct? You are alone chanting. Isn't it? That's what Krishna says. Whenever you enter any good project, there will be some problems. Like some boys may ask you, hey, what is this? Look at this brahmachari. You said these fellows are given their lives and that brahmachari has given up his ashram life and he has got married now. Kya ho gaya, uska patan ho gaya? Like that, people may sometimes say that. Then you can tell them, see, last 6 years or 8 years he served in ashram. How much bhakti sukriti has accumulated, correct or not? Day in and day out. And now also, he is not eloping with a woman, he is properly getting married with somebody. He is going to maintain his wife, what is your problem? Correct? You can ask the question. He is now legally wedded now, with the blessings of the parents now. And he is continuing his life as spiritual life as a grihastha devotee. What are you doing? You can ask him. Correct, no? So that's why he says, Tyaktva sadharmam charanambujam hare. In that verse he says, even if somebody while performing the duty finds it difficult and slips, and then he puts himself in another platform and continues his duty. So when we are all doing our duty, there will be some smoke. Some difficulties will come. Those who persist in doing the duty, despite the difficulty, eventually the smoke will be gone. Like in the furnace also, when you put the firewood, lot of wood you put, then the smoke comes. But you put the funkni in the fire, like that you do, then the fire grows and smoke will be gone, like that. Similarly, this is another point, second point. First point is importance of sticking to duty. The second point is, okay, somebody, Prabhuji, I tried my best to stick to duty, Prabhuji, but problems are coming. Therefore I gave up. No, don't give up, he says. Don't give up. Even though problems are coming, still you persist. Try to keep on, because you are doing the right thing. Therefore, right thing must be done at any cost, no matter, even if there are some flaws. And the wrong thing, no matter how perfectly you can do the wrong thing, you should not do it. I can easily copy in the exam. I know how to trick the teacher. Teacher walks that side, no, I can take the paper. No, you cannot do it. Even if you are clever enough to trick the teacher, still the wrong thing should not be done cleverly. So, that means, therefore Krishna says, do the right thing even though there may be flaws. And don't try to do the wrong thing perfectly. Correct, no? So, therefore, like here purpose is, in conditioned life, all work is contaminated by the material modes of nature. Even when the Brahmana has to perform sacrifice, purpose is many things. Even when the merchant, he must sometimes hide his profit to stay in his business. Or he may have to do his business. One cannot avoid them. Similarly, even though a man is Shudra, serving a bad master, he has to carry out the order of the master. So here, that's why the example of the smoke is given. Don't worry, while trying to do your occupation as a duty, there will be some smoke also will be there. Therefore he says, Tam Stitikshasva, he says, tolerate and go on. While performing duty, you will face some resistance from your mind. While performing duty, there will be faults. Two things he is saying. Like during japa you are doing, how many of you feel some resistance from the mind? We all have a practical experience, we have, correct? And how many of you while chanting, you find there are some faults in the style of our chanting? So we have both resistance from within and faults while executing the duty. Both are. Even with these two things, Krishna says, don't stop. And the faults are compared to the smoke. And the resistance from the mind is due to the lower nature of conditioning. Amaguna, Rajaguna. Mind is giving resistance. From inside. But Krishna says, those people who, despite the resistance from the mind and faults while execution of the duty, still they stick to the duty on and on and on without giving up. They eventually will become perfect in that duty. Like we say, practice makes a man perfect. One boy, he was asked to leave the Gurukul because of his very poor performance. Go back home and stay with parents. So on the way back, he saw one lady was drawing water from the well. In those days, the well was having stones all around, like this, and the rope was upbraiding over a stone, and the stone had impression of the rope. The boy was taken by surprise. The rope is soft and the stone is hard. How can the rope make impression on the stone? Which is harder, which is softer? Stone is harder. Still, that got impression because of the rope going. Then the boy came to a conclusion because the rope is repeatedly going over the stone. Therefore, it could make an impression on it. Immediately, that clicked an idea. He went back to Guru's ashrama and told the Guru, please give me one more chance, last chance. I saw this. Guru was also inspired hearing his experience. He gave him one more chance. That boy went on to become Kalidas. He's same as Kalidas, who wrote Kumara Sambhava and all those literature. Because after going into ashram, he practiced. So similarly, all of us, when you are young, early morning, one should get up and memorize some shlokas. That's a traditional Indian dharmic life. Recite some shlokas loudly, recite some prayers, and also attend the aratis, Mangalarati, chanting, japa, all these things. This is an absolute need for the soul. It's a food for the soul. It is exactly like putting petrol in your vehicle, or washing the vehicle and putting water in the radiator of your car. You know, imagine you have to go 1,000 miles distance, you have to drive. What the first thing you will do? Load yourself, correct? Load yourself with the fuel. Without fuel, you cannot go. Or it is like a soldier who is putting armor in the chest, hands and everything. Head, you cover yourself, so that when you go to the war, you will not be harmed, correct? No? You have to put armor also and carry weapon also. Weapon is for progressing in the enemy's troops, and armor is for protecting yourself, correct? No? So without such preparation, can you run to the battle angrily? No. So therefore, the morning program, what we do is like that. Putting a protective, preventive armor, that kind of thing. So these are duties to be done with great enthusiasm. Now, what is the connection of this to the topic of competition? I will tell you. If one is performing one's duties perfectly or imperfectly, also making an effort to make it perfect, there may be some fault in performance of duty. There may be some struggle also. Like here, Lord Krishna says, I will show you. So this verse which I am saying, it comes in the 10th canto, Rukmini Mangalam it comes. Okay, let us look at that. See, when this Brahmana comes to the Brahmana comes to meet Krishna, no? Krishna asks this question. Yeah, Prabhupada. Here, Lord will talk to him. Okay, here the Lord is going. But in the previous chapter, Lord is talking to the Brahman. See, this is a very nice talk between Lord Krishna and the Brahman. The Lord is telling Brahman some very important instructions, which are, see here, there are 3, 4 verses, very, very important verses. First, the Lord is asking him question. So he's saying the Brahmana, Sri Krishna, the Lord of the Brahmanas, came down from his throne and seated him. Then the Lord worshipped him, just as he himself is worshipped by demigods. Just as Krishna is worshipped by demigods, Krishna worshipped the Brahman, like that. Tam bhaktavantam vishantam upagamya satam gatihi panina abhimrishan padav abhyagrastam aprachata. After the Brahmana had eaten and rested, Sri Krishna, the goal of saintly devotees, came forward, and while massaging the Brahmana's feet with his own hands, he patiently questioned him as follows. Kachid Vijavara Sreshtha Dharmaste Vriddha Sammataha Vartate Nati Krichrena Santushtam Manasas Sada. She is asking, O best of exalted Brahmanas, are your religious practices sanctioned by senior authorities, proceeding without great difficulty? Is your mind always fully satisfied? Is asking. See here, see this is Dharma. Dharma stay vriddha sammataha. You should not do anything that is not guided by the previous acharyas, or it's not guided by your superior. Don't do any whimsical activity. Dharmaste vriddha sammataha. That means you should be able to always say that I have been told to do this way, therefore I am doing. You should be guided by some superior. Secondly, na atikritrena. You should be able to do your dharmic activities joyfully. Like, rising in the morning, chanting, dancing, doing japa, hearing the class. If you are doing it in a sense of duty strongly for a period of time, they will become joyful activities. But if somebody is doing it, I'm supposed to, if you do like that, and even after 10 years, you will be like that only. Yeah. One should. The mind screams like a child early morning. Like small kid when he gets up, he will start. You have seen that? Our mind is also like that. In the morning. अरे उठना पड़ता है, नहाना पड़ता है, धोती कुर्ता पहनना पड़ता है. Mind. So, if you are going to be morose, then the moroseness doesn't go away even after 10 years also. But here he is saying, na atikritrena. If you do it very joyfully. There was one Odia devotee in our Pune in those days. Even while doing activities, he will sing one song. अभी हम गोविंद के नाम लेकर नहाएंगे, अभी हम तिलक पहनेंगे, अभी धोती पहनेंगे, अभी भगवान के प्रसाद खाएंगे, भगवान के लिए नाचेंगे. There's a song like that. Every activity while doing, he will be singing like that. Very joyfully he will do these activities. So that's why he's saying the dharma should eventually become a joyful experience. Susukam kartum Supposed to be joyful. God is asking that. No, here you see. And the Lord is saying, Santushto yarhi varteta brahmano yena kenachit ahiyamana swadharmat sahyasya akhila gamadhuk. When a Brahmana is satisfied with whatever comes his way and does not fall away from his religious duties, those very religious principles become his desire cow, fulfilling all his wishes. See, don't think the satisfaction you can get overnight. This satisfaction in the heart or inner fulfillment, we call it. This is a result of prolonged performance of duty with a sense of duty. If somebody is with a strong sense of duty, is doing the duty with no material expectations, one does not have any hetu in doing the duty. One is thinking, this is my vritti, this is my duty, I should do it for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of Guru, I should do this duty. You keep on doing the duty. Not one day, 2 days, for a prolonged period of time. And while doing the duty, there may be faults like the smoke coming when you lit up fire. Or while, doing the duty, there may be some struggle in the beginning because you are not used to that duty. Now only you are starting. But despite that, one persists in doing the duty. The end result of such performance of duty is great satisfaction. One feels that santushti. And that is why I gave the example. A Brahmana has no expectations. He goes as a purohit. Go to somebody's puram and do hit to them and go back. So your goal is what? In going to somebody's house. To benefit whom? Them. Once you benefited, you are happy. I have done it now. And how they benefit you, do you make a plan for that? No. Therefore, by doing, because when you go and do some good for another, then you feel that satisfaction that I could do this. That gives satisfaction. Over a period of time, one starts deriving great delight in selfless activities to Lord and the other jivas. So that nature becomes a second nature for us. Doing selfless activities for others. People generally will ask you, Prabhuji, can I give you this? Can I give you that? Do you want this? I'll purchase this for you. That will not register in your head at all. That will just evaporate from your head because you are not in a mood to take anything from anybody. You only want to give. Like Jagannath, he goes out of the temple to distribute his happiness to the other jivas. He is feeling pity for the jivas. Look at the jiva is getting ऊब जाता है दुकान में बैठ कर बाहर आओ आनंद पाओ. Is distributing like that. Take this happiness. Jagannath is going out in the street. Jagannath is not going to get anything from anybody. He is going to give happiness to everybody. So Lord's nature is always to give. And if you force him to take something, okay, then he says, okay, patram pushpam phalam toyam. Okay, something you gave me. He is not very much keen because he has everything. He does not lack in anything. But he is always in the mood of, it's called as Varadaraj, correct, no? He is always giving. So associating with such a personality, the Supreme Lord, who has the habit of giving, devotees also develop that habit of always giving. You catch some newcomer, come here. And you give him prasad, isn't it? Or you give him, it's my Lord, there was one devotee, remember, every time I go to Mayapur, this near the Narasimha, the side we have this thing now, screen comes. So we're standing. Somebody was catching my hand and I was wondering, who is this fellow? He's catching as if he knows me for many years. Saying, pull the hand and then you are applying this one. And every day he will do that. He's catching every devotee's hand. Then one day I caught his hand. Then I asked him, hey Prabhuji, why are you doing this every day to people? He said, I want special mercy, Prabhu, from everybody. Whenever devotees get this and smell and they have a smile on their face, I hope that their mercy will come upon me. He's telling. So, devotees of the Lord means they always want to make others happy by giving prasad, by doing some good to them. Correct, no? So, that becomes a second nature. Then we stop having expectations from others. Like you go to some temple, they ask you, Prabhu, do you like to have prasadam? Then you say, okay, Prabhu, something is there. If you give, I will be grateful. So why you didn't ask? They may ask you. No, but I wasn't sure whether some prasadam is left. Don't worry. And then they go inside and they say, Prabhu, you have come at 2 o'clock. Therefore, I thought I'll bring Rajbhog for you. Please take it. One big plate of dozen items they give you. Will you be happy or not? What happy? More than happy. Huh? Because you didn't expect anything. You didn't even ask anything. Without asking, they came and gave you. Correct, no? So that is why perform your duty, be fixed in your duty, religious duty, because it must be done at any cost. Do it without any expectation. Even if there are faults, still do it. No. And while doing, there may be some inhibition, prohibition, resistance from inside. Don't care about that resistance. The resistance is coming from your material component. Don't care about it. Do it at any cost. It must be done. Karyam ityeva, it must be done. It's very important. This is very good for me. Like for example, sometimes the Ayurvedic doctor gives you a bitter powder to eat. Have you experienced? Correct, no? So although it is not very tasty, one has to take it. Like in our temple, they make this Karela sabji. And especially if they make veg sabji, the bucket will remain as it is. Nobody will touch it. You fry it and keep it, it gets so quickly over. Nothing will be left in the bucket if you fry it. So living entities have a long tongue. They want fried taste. See, this is the problem. The problem is, if it is tasty, I will eat. If it is not tasty, I will not eat. Ideally speaking, what you should think, this Kerala actually is the medicinal also. If you take this Kerala and put it, all the unwanted things in your gutter is there inside your belly sometimes because of, what is the gutter inside? Undigested food and so many unwanted stuff is there. This fellow will go on thoroughly wash, thorough wash. It's like putting phenol Dettol outside. It will do everything and throw out everything. But one should be ready to take it, correct, no? If you know the good it can do, then you will take it. So therefore, even though my tongue is resisting the bitterness, still you should take it. It is a good medicine for you. Similarly, while performing Dharma, there is some opposition from the mind. So tell my mind, hey mind, I know you are naughty. Don't do too much drama, just stand. You preach to the mind. So, and then make the mind do the Dharma. Oppose the resistance of the mind. Don't worry about the faults. Do the duty without any expectation. And Krishna will give you results beyond your expectation. Even if you don't have any expectation, still He'll give you. One has to do like this. And if one does it like this, the result of such execution of duty is satisfaction and happiness. That's why he's saying, Krishna is telling. And then he's saying, Asantushto asakrit lokan apnotyapi sureshwaraha akinchano api santushtaha shete sarvanga vijvaraha. He's telling, Asantushto asakrit lokan apnoti api sureshwaraha. If a person is dissatisfied in this world, even if he becomes Indra, Swara Ishwara, Swara Ishwara means Indra. He's saying, that person, even after roaming to multiple planets and the higher planets, he will never be, a dissatisfied person can never be happy, he's saying. Akinchanopi santushta. On the other hand, if somebody is akinchan, see here, the unsatisfied Brahmana wanders restlessly from one planet to another, even if he becomes king of heaven. But a satisfied Brahman, though he may possess nothing, rests peacefully, all his limbs free of distress. How many of you want peaceful sleep? Here is a secret for you. You have to become a what Brahmana? Satisfied Brahman. Then you can have so most IT fellows are not able to sleep well because satisfaction is not there. They feel that if only I got 5,000 rupees more, I'll be more happy. So when there is a craving for more, that produces longing and craving and greed and plan making. Like, whole night You didn't get good sleep, you are because you're making a lot of plans to multiply the money. Next day morning, you get up, head is heated up. Huh? Just like sometimes computer without shutting down, you close it. Next day morning, it's like tawa, hot. You seen that? Similarly, a fellow who is lying down with a lot of thoughts in the mind, he didn't have a good sleep, correct now? So, a Brahmana, if he attain that satisfaction which comes by sincere execution of Dharma, huh? By sincere execution of Dharma, despite faults, despite resistance, because of respect for the Acharya, Guru, because of respect for the Lord and the scriptures, he has faithfully executed the duty. And he had no other expectation from Guru, just to please the Guru. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. That person is considered a learned person, a disciple who completely offered his life to the service of Guru with no expectation in return. Such a devotee's karmic reactions are burnt to ashes. Either is saying. When karmic reactions are burnt to ashes, you become very, very happy. Because you have no more karmic reaction pushing you from behind. Correct, no? Yeah. See, Prabhupada says here, those who are unsatisfied feel distress throughout their body, becoming subject to many diseases. A satisfied Brahmana, however, though he may possess nothing, is peaceful and calm, and there is no distress within his body or mind, he's saying. Vipran salapa santushtan sadhuan bhuta suruttaman nirahankarina shantan namasye sharasa sakrit. See what Krishna is telling. I repeatedly bow my head in respect to those Brahmins who are satisfied with their lot. Saintly, prideless, and peaceful. They are the best well-wishers of all living beings, like that is saying. So Krishna is telling he bows his head to the Brahmins. Can you imagine? That means if you become a satisfied Brahmana, Krishna says, I bow down to you. He's saying like that. Vipran salapa santushtan. See, this is a beautiful verse. Sadhun, Bhuta Suhrittaman, supreme well-wishers of all the living entities. And also he is saying that they are saintly and they are prideless. Sadhun, Bhuta Suhrittaman. Namasya Shirasa Sakrit. I bow down my head, Krishna says. That means it's not an ordinary thing if somebody is a satisfied devotee. And many people are foolish in this world. They cannot understand the real wealth of a devotee. Actually, that's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorified that Kolavechas so much. Correct? No? This Kolavechas Sridhar, he was actually living in a thatched hut, and there were so many holes in the hut. Whenever rains would come, water would come inside. He had somehow put patches, and somehow he was living there. And he had dhoti which had more holes than the roof also. That also he had tied like this, tied like this, tied like this. He was wearing the dhoti. He had very limited facility. He didn't have many clothes. When in a single room house he was living. So, and then he would go to sell this banana cups and banana leaves, banana the stem and all that he would sell. So Nimai Pandit would go. So one day Nimai Pandit being Krishna, he was very charming to look at. His body was golden in complexion, eyes were like lotus petals, and he had curly locks of hair, and a sacred thread passing through his body. He was always surrounded by his students, friends, with whom he would walk in Nadia. So when Kolavecha saw, being a pure devotee, covered by Yogamaya, many of the pure devotees, because of Yogamaya, they could not ascertain that he is Krishna. But they were very attracted to him, madly fond of him. They were also not knowing why are we attracted to this beautiful boy. They were not knowing. Instead of Shyam Sundar, he was Gaur Sundar. So this Gaur Sundar would go to his shop, purchase things, and he would argue with him. So one day, while talking, Nimai Pandit told him, see, Valavecha, look at these people who worship Durga. They are so rich. They have big bungalows, costly dress they wear golden jewelry. How they live like this? And look at you, you are worshipping Krishna. You have so many holes in your cloth and more holes in the roof of your house. No. If you also take to the worship of Durga, then probably you will also become more wealthy. So in response to that, what did he say, Kolavecha? He said, my dear Brahmana, you see a king lives in a palace and a bird lives in a nest. Once they both close their eyes, they don't know, both are asleep. The quality of sleep is same. Is it not true? King gets his food and the bird gets his food. Because the Almighty Supreme Lord has arranged the food for everybody. They get the respective type of food. As far as I am concerned, I am deeply satisfied with whatever Krishna is sending me in my life. Whatever money I earn, half of it I use it for Ganga Puja. Other half I maintain my family. And I have no dearth of anything. Whatever I need, the Lord is giving me, I am very satisfied. Like that he said. So here is the example of a satisfied Brahman. Later on in the Mahaprakash Leela, Mahaprabhu told the devotees, go and bring that Kolavecha. Nobody knew who, when Mahaprabhu said the word Sridhar, nobody knew his name, Sridhar. They only called him as Kolavecha. And he was brought. So Mahaprabhu gave him a lot of benedictions and blessings and everything. So the idea is, if a Brahmana is satisfied, the Lord is so charmed by that satisfied Brahmana. And this is one of the reasons in our society, ISKCON society also, how the preaching takes place. The brahmacharis who are preachers, or even the grihastha preachers, or Mataji preachers, all this, in whichever body you may be, female body, male body, or a brahmachari, or grihastha, whoever it is, if your people find that you are completely satisfied, you have no hankering, you have no hankering for money, you have no hankering for post, you have no hankering to beat down others and climb on their heads, you have no hankering to get anything in this world. The only thing you are hankering is you have Govinda hankering. Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam. That is such a powerful preaching. It's more effective than our speaking also. Our speaking can do some work, but when people see that this person has no hankering, on the contrary, far from hankering, the person is completely peaceful, satisfied in whatever Krishna has given. So, every one of us have that great responsibility. Preaching is not just preparing a lecture and giving. We have to live this life. You see, the Lord is telling, I repeatedly bow my head in respect to those Brahmins who are satisfied with their lot. This word satisfaction is such an important word which comes everywhere in the Bhagavatam, you will find. See, Sada Santushta Manasaha Sarva Shivamayadishaha Sharkara Kantakadibhyo Yadopanat Padashivam. For a person who has suitable shoes on his feet, there is no danger even when he walks on pebbles and thorns. For him, everything is auspicious. Similarly, for one who is always self-satisfied, there is no distress. Indeed, he feels happiness. Where? Everywhere he feels. Santushtake navarajan navarte tapi varina aupastya jaihvyakarpanyat grihapala yate janaha. My dear king, a self-satisfied person can be happy even with only drinking water. However, one who is driven by the senses, especially the tongue and genitals, must accept the position of a household dog to satisfy his senses. Very strong, no? See, according to the Shastras, a Brahmana or a cultured person in Krishna consciousness will not enter anyone's service to maintain body and soul together, and especially not for satisfaction of the senses. A true Brahman is, that means what people are saying, you should not serve anybody in this world other than Krishna. But even if you have to enter some company, factory to work, it should not be, money should not be earned for the satisfaction of senses. Okay, you work in a factory, no problem, but use that money for Krishna service. That's the whole point. But if somebody is, so three categories is saying. One is working only for Krishna. Second is working for some karmi, but to earn money for Krishna. And the third is working for a karmi, earning money to enjoy senses. That's the last category. Understand now? He's saying. A true Brahmana is always satisfied. Even if he has nothing to eat, he can drink a little water and be satisfied. This is only a matter of practice. Sometimes it happens that a devotee comes at night, and the prasadam got over. One shouldn't become angry, I did so much service and nobody kept prasad for me, useless devotees. One should not shout at devotees. One should think that, I think today Krishna has decided not to give me prasad. And he is testing my patience. Okay, I will just take some fruits and relax. Just then we are thinking, one devotee comes from the deity department, says, Prabhuji, we have some special Mahaprasad. Although regular prasad is over, you can take Mahaprasad. Then you wonder, see, now Krishna has sent you now because of your, satisfied nature. Satisfied people, how they get it, God knows they get more than what they can expect they get because they don't expect only anything. Yeah. Everything is arranged for them. Unfortunately, however, no one is educated in how to be satisfied in self-realization. See, this is the most important sentence here. See. Read it again. This is the thing. Yeah. As I explained above, the devotee is always satisfied because he feels the presence of Super Soul within his heart and thinks of him 24 hours a day. That's real satisfaction. A devotee is never driven by the dictations of the tongue and genitals, and thus he is never victimized by the laws of nature. Asantushtasya viprasya tejo vidya tapo yashaha savantindriya laulyena jnanam chaiva vakiryate. Because of greed for the sake of the senses, the spiritual strength, education, austerity and reputation of a devotee or Brahmana who is not self-satisfied dwindle and his knowledge gradually vanishes. Says. Very important verse, there is 7:15-20. It says, because of the greed for the sake of senses, if somebody overeats prasad, or somebody becomes sexually agitated and is chasing after opposite sex, or if somebody becomes, envious of another devotee and wants to imitate the devotee by increasing material hankering, I also want to do this or do that and things like that. The greed of the sake of senses, what is the result of that? One, spiritual strength, education, austerity, reputation, all those things are dwindling. Because the devotee is not self-satisfied. See, not being self-satisfied causes hankering. And hankering is the worst quality. Not possessing is not as bad as hankering. If somebody doesn't have it, it is all right. But if you have hankering that I don't have this, and that hankering really, really putrefies the mind. It spoils the mind, really. His knowledge gradually vanishes. He becomes illusioned. Because of hankering. Hankering increases the fire of greed more and more inside. Radha Maharaj, you know what he says? He says that अगर जल जल कर इस दुनिया में इंसान चीजों को प्राप्त कर सकता है तो ऐसे जल कर ही प्राप्त कर सकता है, लेकिन जलने से जल नहीं बढ़ता, लेकिन चीजें प्राप्त नहीं होते हैं. He says, by burning in the heart hankering only increases. It's not going to be pacified. See, the strong bodily desires and needs of a person disturbed by hunger and thirst are certainly satisfied when he eats. Similarly, one becomes very angry. That anger is satisfied by chastisement and its reaction. Like if you are angry with somebody, you shout like this. After that, you become pacified. If you are hungry, eat prasadam and drink water, you are pacified. But as for greed, even if a greedy person has conquered all the directions of the world or has enjoyed everything in the world, still he will not be. My Lord, see this. Huh? This is the danger of greed. Huh? No matter, Hiranyakashipu had everything at his disposal. Correct, no? You can think about that. Huh? There's a verse by, you know, Sayitvam nirjita kapu yekarar vishayan priyan yadopajosam bunjano natripyat ajitendriyaha na sayitvam nirjita kaku yekarar vishayan priyan yadopajosam bunjano natripyat ajitendriyaha. In spite of achieving the power to control in all directions and in spite of enjoying all types of dear sense gratification as much as possible, Hiranyakashipu was dissatisfied because instead of controlling his senses, he remained their servant. Huh? See, Yatopajosham Gunjano, he could enjoy at will as he wanted. Na Trupyat means not satisfied. Why? Ajita Indriyaha. Na Trupyat Ajita. Because he had uncontrolled senses, he was not satisfied. How he enjoyed is given in the previous verses. You know, there are many verses which says, you know, how, what all he was. See? Tapachya tasyasi saptadvipavati mahi tada kamadugha gavo nanascharya padam nabah. As if in fear of Hiranyakashipu, the planet Earth, which consists of 7 islands, delivered rains without being plowed. Thus it resembled cows like the Sarabi, spiritual world, Kamaduga heaven. The earth yielded ample food grains. Cows gave abundant milk. Similarly, the flowing of the waves, various rivers were supplying all kinds of jewels and everything. Oceans are giving salt water, sugarcane juice, everything to him. Valleys between mountains became fields, and you see, the trees and plants produce the fruits and flowers profusely in all seasons. Yeah. He took away the Indra, Vayu, Agni, their jobs, and he was personally controlling everybody. But even after doing all these things, there is nobody in this world other than Hiranyakashipu who took complete control of the whole situation. Of all the three words, Na Tripyat Ajitendriyaha. This should be ringing in our ears always. Na Tripyat, please repeat this. Na Tripyat Ajitendriyaha. Yatopajosham Bunjano Na Tripyat Ajitendriyaha. So this you can remember this. And he was Ekarat. Ekarat means what? Sing one master for all the three worlds. Can you imagine? Ekarat Vishayan Priyan. Topajosham Bhunjano Natripyat Ajitendriyaha. Like that he says. Very, very powerful verses. So where is the... I don't know why this folio is coming like this. Okay, like that. I don't know where the previous one went. So, you saw those verses. Now I showed you many verses on 7, 15, 20. I showed you. That is our satisfaction verses. Correct, no? See, today, in this whole class today, many things we have discussed. In the beginning, I was discussing about the importance of performance of Dharma, the duty. So, one who has a very strong sense of performing the duty to the order of the spiritual master and the scriptures, despite flaws may be there, like the fire covered by smoke, despite the dharmic activities may be a little painful in the beginning, mind may oppose, senses may not cooperate. But at the same time, when one performs these activities, at the same time in a mood of no other expectation other than to please Guru and Krishna, correct, no? Without any hetu, when one performs that, the result of such performance is satisfaction. And satisfaction is not an easy thing in this world to get. Opposite of satisfaction is what? Dissatisfaction, greed. Huh? That dissatisfaction is called greed. Yeah. And greed is the worst quality, he says. Because a hungry man can be pacified by food. A thirsty man can be pacified by, the angry man can be pacified by allowing him to shout. you know. See, once an angry man shouts at somebody, the other person's face becomes small. Then this angry man is happy. Acha, usko dukit kar diya abhi. Correct, no? At least he's happy. But a greedy man, can he be pacified? No. No. Even if the whole world is given to him, he will not be pacified. So that means, understand the seriousness of the matter. Huh? If I'm going to be hankering for something material, I am in a very dangerous disease. You have to take him to doctor, correct? Na? Most dangerous disease is what? Greed. Hankering for material enjoyment. Greatest disease it is. And the remedy for that greatest disease of greed is satisfaction. And that satisfaction, how you get? By performing your duties happily, joyfully, dharmena nati kritsrena, it says. And then perform your duties, and by performance of your duty, Krishna conscious duty, gradually you resume your identity. I am Krishna Das, I am Bhakta Das, I am Guru Das, and I am born to serve. That's my nature, natural propensity. Eternally I am a servant. Guna Krishna Dase koi, yena moro hai. Shri Radha Govinda preme, Radayena basi. I am simply servant, dasosmi, dasosmi. We have to remind ourselves about that. And by deriving delight in this dasatvam, dasya sukham, by getting happiness in this servitorship to Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, if we can perform our duties joyfully, then the satisfaction will become very natural for us. And one who is satisfied fellow is the richest fellow in this world. There was one king, he was most unhappy fellow. And then he asked one wise Brahmana, how I can become happy? Brahmana said, if you wear the shirt of a happiest man, then you will also become happy, he said. So he sent all the ministers in all directions. At last they got a man under one tree, he was only wearing kaupin. And he was chanting Hare Krishna. So they caught him and brought and said, he is the happiest man in our country, we have seen. The king asked, can you give me your shirt? He said, I don't have any shirt. So then the king was wondering. Then the king said, okay, now unfortunately I couldn't get your shirt. At least let me ask some questions to you, to learn from you. Then he asked him, can you tell me where is God? He asked the question. So that devotee asked him a question back. Tell me where there is no God. So the king was amazed. That when you say God is nowhere, you put a line between N-O-W and H-E-R-E. What it becomes? God. When you say God is nowhere, God is now here. In the same sentence it is hidden. Same, isn't it? So he was thrilled by that intelligence of that fellow. So then he asked him, okay, I agree that there is God who has created all this world and everything. But I am always curious to know what is his activity, he asked. So that fellow, poor fellow, he said, yes, my dear king, I can answer that question, but it's a serious question. For me to answer the question, you have to come down and allow me to sit on your throne, then I can answer, he said. King said, okay. Then king came down and he made this fellow sit in the throne. And then this fellow sat on the throne and looking here and there very coolly. And the king said, but where is the answer for my question? This is the answer, he said. What is the answer? He said, God, one who is proud, God brings him down. One who is humble, God lifts him up. And this is what God is doing. That's his main activity. Prahlad was humble, God put him on the throne. Hiranyakashipu was too proud, he brought him down. Kamsa was too proud, God brought him down. Ugrasena was humble, Krishna put him up. Correct, no? He said, this is what God does, he said. So, the greatest wealth of any human is satisfaction, which is the humble and grateful heart is a satisfied heart. So if you're counting the blessings always, you are grateful and you are also humble and you always think, I don't deserve this. Once when I asked my spiritual master, Maharaj, how is your health? He said, better than I deserve. Like that he said. Huh? So what is the meaning of that? Actually, I have done so many sinful activities in so many lifetimes. I deserve to suffer. But Krishna is so kind, he has minimized my diseases. Huh? Better than I deserve. I am healthy enough, more than what I deserve. So this is a very amazing kind of consciousness. Huh? If somebody glorifies you that, oh, you gave such a wonderful lecture, then what should we say? Oh, it's all what I learned from Guru and other wonderful devotees. I am just like a parrot, I am repeating. Even my repetition is so attractive for you. You should go and hear the real people from whom I learn. It is the greatness of those people, because of whose association I am able to repeat something. So not only we should say that, we should also feel that. When you honestly feel that, then you are very peaceful at heart. So a satisfied person, do you think he'll compete with anybody? He has no reason to compete. He's situated in his natural position. So, and also I told you, even when he is performing his material duties, like you are all students, it's not that we say don't study. Study, understand the subject, and perform the exam also well. But the goal of education is not just getting marks. Goal of education is to understand the subject and become a learned person. Correct, no? Similarly, while working in the company, the goal is not by hook or crook to make money. The goal of job is also to honorably earn the money. Honestly, not by some crooked means. Because money earned by crooked means will not let you sleep peacefully. Because one day you'll be caught and you'll be in trouble. Correct, no? So we have to cultivate this satisfaction. And also satisfaction comes when we know that God has created each of us uniquely. Like Sudama Brahmana was poor. He never aspired to become rich. Because he knew that according to my Purva Janma Karma, I am put in a position where we don't have much wealth at home. Never mind. We will remember the Lord and lead a happy life. Happiness doesn't have to come only from money. Happiness doesn't have to come from lavish facilities. Happiness can come by performance of Dharma. When I perform my Dharma, when Lord is pleased, Yasmin Tushtam, Jagat Tushtam can be satisfied. Now let us stop here. It's getting late now. 5 minutes I can take questions and then we can continue tomorrow. Shri Prabhupada ki. Yes?
Hare Krishna, Puji. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. Could you explain that even if there is some faults or on duty, we should do it very joyfully, happily. We should do the duty. But sometimes it's joyful, sometimes not so joyful. Also, it's a painful or austerity also in duties also. Or what else I said. So how to make it joy?
In the beginning, it will not be joyful. See, that joy is also a gift of Krishna. Correct, no? Like you ask yourself, the beginning days when you are chanting Hare Krishna, how many of you found even one round to be too long? Correct, no? We were wondering what happened to that orange one, it's missing. I used to think, kya gir gaya kya kahin? Dikh nahi raha. Mala is going on and on and on and on. When will that orange thing come? Isn't it? We used to wonder like that, correct, no? But now you are chanting 16 rounds. Initially our willpower was so less. Now over a period of time, willpower builds up. Then you can chant more rounds. But some boys, after 4 rounds, they have to get up. Because something is doing inside the thighs. You get up. Then you have to look outside the window. See the crow sitting on the tree. Who is passing by. Some goats are walking. Some change is required for the mind. But once you pick up chanting, you just sit down 16 rounds, you can just chant one go. And you keep your mobile in the locker and you lock it up. There's no mobile in your another lap. Not that one hand japa beats and another hand in a mobile. See, mobile is there, definitely you will meddle with it. 100% guaranteed. People say, I will not do anything. No. You will say that, but some beep sound will come, you'll want to watch it at least. But you keep away the mobile. If you keep it in locker, what can you do? It is locked up. You can tell all your people, You will not find me till 9 o'clock because I don't touch the mobile. I have taken a what do you call it, digital boas. Till so in this way, you can do your sadhana performance to the best ability. Correct, no? Another question?
Puji, you were saying that a Purohit means he doesn't have expectation from the people whom they are visiting. Like if a devotee, like a temple president or some mean person is going, so can he not have the expectation that the person to whom I'm going, he gives something in charity for the temple?
Like I am a temple president of Pune, correct, no? I am running one temple in Pune and another camp temple also, and Hyderabad also. I never approached anybody for charity. I have not gone to anybody till date. But charity will come to our temple. They'll come and give you. If you are properly, because when you are performing Dharma properly, Krishna makes the other living entities look at you with a compassionate eye. They will feel sympathy for you. Hey, this poor fellow, he is trying to do Krishna consciousness so nicely and benefiting the world. Now we will do something. On their own, they will come and give. You don't have to even ask also. Like one time, in those days, my recordings, the early days were not very good. 2016, 17, when they were doing. At one time, in the COVID, just before COVID, I think, we wanted a good camera and everything. So, I had told them to just put the picture of the camera and the rate of the camera. It was like 2 lakh rupees or something like that in the COVID time. We put it within 2 days, the whole amount came. More than that came. 2.5 lakhs came. We purchased a camera after that. We told that we want to make a good quality video. We don't have a facility. We said, if somebody want to sponsor, immediately 2-3 people came together and then it was finished. So, Krishna will inspire the other jivas. And many people ask also, you want this, you want that. Many are ready to provide, but we should not accept unnecessarily. Just because somebody is giving, we should not accept. And we should do our part well. And if Lord is pleased, He will send that type of people. One more thing we can do, say you can cultivate well-to-do people. Because well-to-do people, Krishna says, Shushinam, Sumatam Gehe, Yoga Prishta Vijay. So there are some Srimad people, well-to-do people. If you bring them to temple, if you introduce them to chanting, many of them are very innocent also. Very simple. They have no outside world touch, many people. There are like that people. So if you cultivate them, make them devotee. Now you see, you are a student, you have knowledge, so you start giving the knowledge in preaching activities. Krishna consciousness. So they have wealth, they will automatically come and ask you, Prabhuji, I have so much wealth, can you please give me some clue how I can use my wealth in Krishna service? So you just have to give them an idea. Okay, Prabhuji, you are coming up with, what is that? Abhay Tirth. Isn't it? You are making a temple. So it will be nice if you can take part in it. We don't say you give money to me. You give money to Krishna. You serve Krishna by taking part in these activities. You pick and choose which one you want. So in this way, everybody has something to offer. In case you feel that the temple needs money, then we should cultivate people who are rich and make them use their money in Krishna service. And many people nowadays don't trust people nowadays. They think these guys will take money and mishandle it. Therefore, we can tell them, you don't have to give me cash. You engage in this service. You can build this Prasada hall for us. Or you can build this Brahmacharya ashram for us. Or you can get a couple of cars for book distribution or something. Many people do that happily. And when they will themselves ask, my spiritual master used to say, you give them Krishna and they will come and give their wealth. Without our pushing them, they voluntarily will come forward eventually as we cultivate them. Yeah. Another one last question, one or two short. Yeah. Mataji, also give her chance to Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
प्रभु जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली सुबह का क्लास से ही है कि अगर हम कंपटीशन नहीं कर रहे हैं पर हमारे साथ इक्वली 4 लोग हैं, पर वो लोग कंपटीशन कर रहे हैं, आइदर बहुत ज्यादा ईर्ष्या के कारण हो रहा है।
हमारे साथ नहीं तो आपस में
आपस में और हमारे साथ भी,
और
पर हम ऐसा नहीं चाह रहे, हम ऐसा नहीं कर रहे हैं। पर अथॉरिटी तक ये न्यूज़ नहीं जा रहा है, या फिर जो कर रहे हैं सामने वही आ रहे हैं, क्या ही इज़ वेरी नाइस, ही इज़ वेरी गुड। ऐसे समय में हमें क्या करना चाहिए?
देखिए, अलग अलग लोगों का अकाउंट अलग है। अभी जो कंपटीशन कर रही है कोई, उनका अकाउंट अलग है। उनके लिए उनका मानसिक तकलीफ उनको होता ही है, ऐसे लोगों को। हम हमारी ओर से हम क्या कर सकते हैं, मैं आपको बताऊंगा। मेरा अनुभव रहा है कि कुछ कुछ एक्टिविटीज अना अनावश्यक लोगों के अंदर ईर्ष्या पैदा करता है। उदाहरण के लिए, ये जो यवन लोगों का आदत ऐसा था कि कोई हिंदू मंदिर बहुत बड़ा बन गया, गोपुरम, वो दूर से देखता था औरंगजेब, अरे इन लोगों का इतना बड़ा टावर है, उसको थोड़ा तोड़ दो। करेक्ट है ना? आजा मदन मोहन मंदिर का अनेक स्टोरीज था, वो उसका 2-4 तोड़ दिया उसका। करेक्ट है ना? उतना हाइट नहीं चाहिए, हमारे मास से ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए। इसी तरह अगर हमारे लोग धूमधाम से कुछ मनाते हैं पब्लिक में, तो वो लोगों का ईर्ष्या ज्यादा पैदा होता है। करेक्ट है ना? देखा जाता है। जिस तरह अभी चित्रकेतु राजा कृतद्युति को एक बच्चा हुआ, वो राजा ज्यादा टाइम ध्यान देने लगा किसको? रानी कृतद्युति को और बच्चे को, और बाकी रानियों को नकार दिया, भूल गया। इसके कारण उनके अंदर क्या पैदा हो गई? ऐसा पैदा हो गया। इसलिए हम लोग क्या करना चाहिए, क्या चीजें हम कर रहे हैं जिससे लोगों के अंदर ईर्ष्या पैदा होता है। अभी उदाहरण के लिए, मैं एक घर में, एक शहर है, एक शहर में एक बार मैं उधर जाकर, हम साल में भागवतम वितरित करने के लिए जाते थे। 5 सेट 10 सेट भागवतम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने का, एक प्रवचन करने का, आ जाने का। तो उसमें 60 लोग आते थे। तो एक बार जब मैं गया उस स्थिति में, तो वो लोगों के घर में देखा कोई नहीं आए थे लेक्चर के लिए। मैंने बोला, प्रभु जी आपने बुलाया मुझे, कोई नहीं आए क्या आज? लगता है कि प्रोग्राम सिर्फ आप लोगों के लिए, घर वालों के लिए। वो बोले, नहीं नहीं प्रभु जी, आपके लिए एक सस्पेंस हम किया है। आज आपका कार्यक्रम इधर नहीं है, बाहर अरेंज किया हमने। किधर है, क्या है? बोले उसमें 700-800 लोग आ रहे हैं। ऐसे बोला, बहुत बड़ा कार्यक्रम, बड़े हॉल में। मैंने बोला, प्रभु जी इतना बड़ा कार्यक्रम आप अरेंज कर रहे हैं, क्या आप लोकल अथॉरिटी से पूछा आपने? हाँ? मैंने पूछा। हाँ, वो बोला, कुछ चिंता नहीं प्रभु जी, वो मंदिर उस कोने में है, हम लोग इधर कर रहे हैं। बाहर किया कार्यक्रम, 800 लोगों का मैंने किया, वो पेपर में आ गया। हाँ? मेरा फोटो के साथ आ गया, राधेश्याम। हाँ? तो आकर गए, बड़ा कार्यक्रम हो गया, इतने धूमधाम से बहुत लोग आए, कीर्तन हुआ, नृत्य हुआ। तुरंत उधर की अथॉरिटी से मुझे लेटर आ गया, प्रभु जी आप कैसे हमारे शहर में आकर इतना बड़ा धूमधाम से प्रोग्राम करके गए, मंदिर में पांव भी नहीं रखा आपने, तो मन में क्या चल रहा है, आपका प्लान क्या है आपका? तो मुझे माफी मांगना पड़ा उनसे। मैंने बोला सॉरी, वो आदमी ने अरेंज किया था ऐसे। वो बोले, ये आदमी हमको पूछता ही नहीं है, कभी भी मनमानी करता है। आप उसके बाद कभी मत सुनना, उसके घर में मत आना, हमारे मंदिर में आना, उसको हमारे मंदिर में बुलाना उसको। ऐसे अभी ये सब प्रॉब्लम क्यों हुआ? क्योंकि कुछ भी चीज थोड़ा बड़ा होकर दिखता है, लोगों को क्या होता है? अभी मैंने भी बोला, जो यूट्यूब चालू किया मैंने सोचा 100 लोग 200 लोगों को लाभान्वित करने के लिए चालू किया मैं। अभी वो 1 लाख से ज्यादा गया, कुछ लोगों को ईर्ष्या हो गया। कुछ लोग लिखते हैं, कमेंट लिखते हैं, बुरे कमेंट लिखते हैं। मैं उनको अगर बुरे कमेंट लिखकर कुछ पूछता तो मैं जवाब देता हूँ, जवाब देने के बाद भी वो कुछ नहीं है। क्योंकि ईर्ष्यालु, ऐसे ईर्ष्यालु जो होता है उसको तृप्त करना बहुत मुश्किल है। तो कभी इस दुनिया में, इसलिए इसका मतलब नहीं कि हम बोलना बंद कर देंगे हम। क्योंकि अच्छा कार्य हम अगर हम करते हैं, वो करते समय धुआं भी निकलेगा, भगवान बताते हैं। करेक्ट है? हम परवाह नहीं करना चाहिए, करते जाना चाहिए। फिर भी जो लोगों को बड़ा दिखता है, लोगों को, जैसे कभी कभी स्टेज प्रोग्राम होता है, कभी उसमें बड़े बड़े नेता लोग आते हैं और प्रोग्राम के बाद अनेक लोग वो नेता लोगों का फोटो लेते हैं, उसमें आकर कोई खड़ा हो जाता है खुद भी, क्योंकि उसका फोटो आ जाएगा, सबको दिखाएगा मैं भी था उधर, कहते ना, ऐसे करते हैं लोग, कंपटीशन होता है उसका। तो अभी स्टेज में जाकर इसने कुछ किया नहीं, कुछ सिर्फ फोटो लिया बस, करेक्ट है। तो इसलिए मैं इससे बड़े कार्यक्रम में मैं जाता नहीं हूँ ज्यादा, हाँ? एक आध बार हो सकता है जाता हूँ, क्योंकि वो इम्प्रेसिंग गेम जो है बहुत डेंजरस गेम है। थोड़ा इसको बड़े सर्कल में अगर हम मूव करते हैं तो लोग ईर्ष्या करते हैं, इसलिए हमारे एक्टिविटीज को स्मॉल सिंपल एक्टिविटीज, प्रीचिंग एक्टिविटीज अगर हम करें, अभी इतना बड़ा कार्यक्रम इधर चल रहा है, हम इसको बड़ा एडवर्टाइज वगैरह नहीं करते हैं, क्योंकि अभी मायापुर में इतना बड़ा हुआ, 1000 भक्त लोग आए थे, करेक्ट ना, उत्कर्ष कैंप। अभी किसी और ने किया तो कितना उसको बम्बार्ड कर देंगे बाहर, करेक्ट ना। अनेक लोग करते हैं छोटे, लेकिन एडवर्टाइजमेंट बड़ा करते हैं। हमारे इतना लोग भी आए थे, हमारे भक्त लोगों ने, धनबाद ने अरेंज की थी, वाराणसी और धनबाद 2 कैंप्स हुआ, कुल मिलाकर 1000 लोग थे, करेक्ट है ना। क्योंकि अगर आप एडवर्टाइज करेंगे उससे कुछ लोगों को क्या हो जाता है, ईर्ष्या हो जाता है। इसमें अनेक समस्या होता है, अनेक लोग पूछते हैं कब होता है, साल में हम आ जाएंगे, अभी हमको भी चांस चाहिए बोलने के लिए, इतने बच्चे आ रहे हैं, ये कौन कर रहा है? तो अलग अलग समस्याएं आते हैं, हमने देखा है इसे। तो इसलिए आपको देखना चाहिए कि हमारे द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ आवर ड्यूटीज एंड एक्टिविटीज, unnecessarily we don't do those activities which will kindle envy in others. अभी देखिए, अगर आप बैठकर जपा करती हो, नहीं तो मंदिर में झाड़ू पोंछा करते हो, उसके लिए कंपटीशन नहीं, कोई करेगा कंपटीशन? कोई यू नो, ये झाड़ू पोंछा मारे, हमको क्यों नहीं दिया, ऐसे पूछेंगे नहीं कभी, तो है, उसके लिए कंपटीशन है। आप कहीं भी किचन में जाकर पूछो, प्रभु जी थोड़ा सब्जी कटिंग कर सकते हैं क्या, क्या बोलेंगे? आइए प्रभु जी, आइए प्रभु, रोज आइए प्रभु जी, है ना। आप बीबीटी में संकीर्तन ऑफिस में जाकर पूछे, प्रभु जी थोड़ा किताब मिलेगा प्रभुपाद जी के, थोड़ा वितरित करके आते हैं, पूरा बैग भर के दे दे आपको, ऐसे पूछने वाले चाहिए प्रभु जी हमको, करेक्ट है ना। लेकिन आप देखेंगे कि किसी मंदिर में जाकर पूछिए, प्रभु जी मैं भागवतम क्लास दे सका हूँ क्या? अरे आप कौन हो, पहले हमको पहचान चाहिए, आप कौन है? इस दुनिया में अगर लीडिंग करना हो तो कंपटीशन है। अगर आरती मंगल आरती लीडिंग करना है, नहीं तो भागवतम क्लास लीडिंग करना है, कुछ पदवी को प्राप्त करना है, पोस्ट, इसके लिए बड़ा स्पर्धा है। अनेक लोगों को पोस्ट चाहिए, सेवा नहीं चाहिए, है? पोस्ट में बैठना है और उनका रबर स्टैम्प चाहिए कि हम इतने बड़े फलाना फलाना पोस्ट में बैठे हैं, है? ये ऐसा दुनिया है, उसके लिए स्पर्धा है, ईर्ष्या है। तो इसलिए हम ईर्ष्या पैदा करने वाले ऊपर ही ऊपर वाले चीजें जो है, उसमें क्या है, वो सिर्फ दिखावा भी होता है। जैसे अभी कभी कभी भागवत सप्ताह बोलते हैं, 5000 लोग आते हैं, वो समुद्र के लहरें जैसे आते हैं चले जाते हैं, देखा आपने? उसमें से कितने भक्त मिलते हैं भक्त बहुत कम, ईर्ष्या पैदा होता है बहुत, क्योंकि लोग बोलेंगे, एक भक्त बोलेगा मालूम है ये प्रभु जी ने 5000 लोगों को प्रवचन दिया, भागवत सप्ताह दिया, ऐसे बोलेगा। तो वो दूसरा बोलेगा, अरे उसको टर्बन पहनाया, उसको पहनाते हैं ना कुछ लोग ने, देखा आपने, टर्बन पहनाते हैं, अरे उसको पाद पूजा किया, उसको ऐसे पुरस्कार दिया, ये दिया, उसको सम्मानित किया, उसको इतने लोगों बड़ा है। कोई दूसरा बोलेगा, अरे वो क्या बड़ा है, हमारे प्रभु जी आए थे, उनके प्रवचन में 6000 लोग आए थे, जिसका 5 आया उनका 6 था। ये बड़े चीज़ों के बारे में लोग आपस में स्पर्धा करते हैं। अगर आप भक्तों के लिए बिठाकर सुनाओ, इधर जो भक्त बैठे हैं हर सब भक्त स्वलंबन करने वाले होते हैं इसमें, तो इसलिए हम लोग इन लोगों के ऊपर ज़्यादा ध्यान देते हैं। इफ़ यू गिव टाइम फॉर मोर डेडिकेटेड पीपल एंड ईच ऑफ देम विल डू सो मच गुड वर्क इन दिस मूवमेंट। हाँ, बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं। इसलिए मैं ऐसे चीज़ों के लिए मैं जाता ही नहीं हूँ। मुझे अगर बोलेंगे प्रभु जी दुर्गा पूजा के हॉलीडेज के समय फ्राइडे सैटरडे संडे आपके लिए हम 20,000 लोग आ रहे हैं भागवत कथा में, फ्राइडे सैटरडे संडे, आप डीपी प्रोग्राम को कैंसिल करके उधर आ जाएंगे, मैं नहीं जाऊंगा। हाँ, Here, if there are 200 devotees, I would prefer this instead of 20,000 devotees, 20,000 people who are ready to attend the Bhagavad Gita in the weekend. Because that brings you fame and name and Irsha, along with envy also. Along with name and fame, you will get envy also. Whereas here, you do this activity, your soul feels deeply satisfied because you are serving the devotees who are already in the path and they are committing themselves so much. Committed, dedicated devotees. And you are facilitating them, assisting them to, go one step further. This is much more important also. So, इस दुनिया में ईर्ष्या करने वाले तो है ही, और इसलिए आप बहुत भी एक चल सकते हैं। आप उनका टीचर भी हैं, आप उनके लिए प्रीचर है आप, इसलिए आप ऐसे कथाएं ले सकते हैं। चित्रकेतु के वाइफ ऐसे कथाएं टाइम टू टाइम आप पढ़ेंगे उन सेक्शंस को। जैसे आज मैंने पढ़ा सेटिस्फैक्शन के बारे में, क्योंकि इसमें अनेक विद्यार्थी हैं जिनके माता पिता के और उनके रिश्तेदार के बहुत अपेक्षाएं हैं इनसे। लेकिन अगर हम सेटिस्फैक्शन कल्टीवेट नहीं करेंगे, तृप्ति नहीं होगा, वो लोभ जो है वो सब लोगों को युवक अवस्था में सताता है बहुत। इसलिए हमने इसके ऊपर लिया। इसी तरह स्त्रियां जो होती हैं उनके लिए उचित टॉपिक्स में एक महत्वपूर्ण टॉपिक है लोभ और ईर्ष्या। इन दो, अगर एक स्त्री लोभी नहीं है, उसके हृदय में किसी भी दूसरे स्त्री के लिए ईर्ष्या नहीं है, जैसे सुनीति थी ऐसे, तो उसको बहुत बड़ा योग्यता माना जाता है। थैंक यू वेरी मच। जय श्री प्रभुपाद की, जय भक्त वृंद की।